what was left on the table earlier was Denny Hamlin. There's been a kind of a controversy, but it hasn't been for the right detail. I don't believe it's been that maybe Kyle Larson was trying to hold back, and Denny held back as well to keep Larson. Now, Kyle Larson has not responded to this, but that's been the say-so that Denny Hamlin must start because he didn't want Kyle Larson to fall back and get the momentum to come around him. But what it looks like to me is Denny Hamlin signed that damn contract a week too soon, because as soon as the money is in the bank, he helped his team win. And nobody wanted to discuss that at all. All week long, I have not heard a single person say, hey, wait a minute. Don't he own the car that won? And didn't he say before he signed the contract that he would help his teammate? He would help his team before he helped his teammate? Are we leaving something on the table? Have I fallen off? Have I fallen off? Do they need to take me off the show? Tell me right now. I'm going to start with you, Taz. Tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm a crazy conspiracy theorist.
So, I mean, I see where Hamlin says he's going to help his team before his teammates. But, Denny, come on. I know you want to help your team and get those guys motivated, but, dude, you have a championship. It's eluding you. Put yourself first. Give yourself a little hell. Come on. Like, we all don't want to see the modern-day Mark Martin, but you're really starting to shape into him.
Hey, the name of his podcast this weekend was Bridesmaid Again. It's almost like he's admitting that he chose to be bridesmaid.
And he even admitted
it was. I only got to listen to DBC, so I wasn't able to listen to his podcast yet.
He even put in there, like, it pained him to be in victory lane. While he enjoyed it, it pained him because he knew he had that race won. And at that restart, he knew what to do to get the job done. And obviously, whatever he did, it did not work. And he knew it.
All right, look.
Kudos to 2311. Ms. Lee.
Look, Denny knows where his future is, okay? Yeah, he signed a 2-year extension with JGR and talked about, potential re-extensions. But Denny knows where his future is, and that's as the owner of 2311. So put 2 and 2 together. Will the same thing happen down the road? In the upcoming races, will he do the same thing? I'm not so sure. He does still want to have a championship, but he knows where his bread is buttered.
Yeah, is it the most important thing on Denny Hamlin's plate right now? That's an interesting way to phrase it, Miss Lee, because it brings up that question. Is, to be a champion, you got to want it so bad, but has that moment passed him already? Because when you name the episode Bridesmaid Again, everybody knows the comparison, and everybody can tell you that Mark Martin has been the bridesmaid of NASCAR up until now. It's almost as if he's accepted it. And, I go back, if Dale Earnhardt had been racing his son and Michael Waltrip for the win, Dale Earnhardt would have never died. What killed Dale Earnhardt was he was going to watch his cars win the Daytona 500, which meant that wasn't Dale Earnhardt anymore. We don't want to admit who Dale Earnhardt was going to be from that day forward. And the world couldn't handle it, so God took him and made him an angel. But
right.
I believe it. I believe Denny Hamlin has given up on the chase to be a champion, and he would sacrifice his own championship to be the car owner of the guy who wins. I mean, hey, if he doesn't, he's got 3 Daytona. Look, I'm telling you, this man has 3 Daytona 500 wins. He's got almost every privileged win in the book except for, I think, a Brickyard win. You know, the guy's had an amazing career, right? Is his drive for a championship there? I don't think so. I think that if he had to race his car for the win, I'm not sure. I don't know how that would come about. What are you guys' thoughts?
Well, like I said, I know Denny knows where his future lies. Does he still have the drive for a championship? I'm sure he does. I'm sure he wants to try. If it came down to him being the champion or one of his drivers being the champion, I'm not so sure.
I think Denny. I get Denny wants to be the car owner, wants his teams to succeed. And I know he's had a successful career, and I'm sure he knows it too. But Denny does. I don't think Denny has many years left. And he knows that Cup championship is eluding him. He's got to come in crosshairs at some point saying, do I want this championship bad enough for myself? Or do I just become modern-day Mark Martin and just get all these achievements, have a successful career, but never get that exclusive Cup Series championship?
But modern-day Mark Martin isn't such a bad thing. I mean, we
Everybody
still talk
wants to make
about
it
him
like
today.
it is. Good point. Good point, Ms. Lee.
I mean, I'm not saying it in like a bad thing, but it's just like, dude, you've been right there on that championship. Come on, we want to see it come. We want to see it come through. I know there's gonna be mixed reactions because I know there are people that don't like Denny Hamlin, and there are people that do. We want to see the world explode when you win that championship.
Tyler Reddick's got to be up on the wheel if he's going to win a Cup Series championship. You put Tyler Reddick at Phoenix, and I think he's as good as anybody. The problem is, you don't want Denny there too. That's going to be a tough situation if that's where it winds up at.
Yeah, that's the point I was trying to make. It comes down to Denny and one of his drivers. Maybe he cut him some slack or helped him this weekend, but if it comes down to that, I'm not so sure.
Well, the longevity of a car owner is going to come from winning championships. If you're at the end of your career as a driver and you're trying to stay in the sport for a very long time, your priority should be as a car owner to get that championship.
I know. I mean, like I said, I think he's got the pieces together to make 2311 successful. And I know he's got the drivers behind the team to do it, especially in Tyler Reddick. I think Bubba Wallace could be up there too if he would just give himself self-confidence that he's got the team behind him. He's got everything behind him and lined up. He just needs to believe in them. And I think Denny knows that he's got an easy 2-card team to put together that can go out and win championships. But I do believe Denny should look in the mirror and say, before these guys try to get me, what can I do to give myself a championship?